Good evening, Paterson. On behalf of the City Council, I want to apologize. Our workshop meeting was supposed to start at 6:30 p.m. on tonight, but due to lack of quorum, there will be a delay. As soon as we get a quorum, which is 5 council members here, we currently have 3, we will start the meeting. So my apologize to the public at large. Thank you so much. We are now 55 minutes late due to the lack of quorum. As soon as one more council member comes in, we can start the council meeting. My apologies to the community at large. Good evening, City of Paterson. On behalf of the Paterson Municipal Council, I welcome you to the workshop session of the Municipal Council. First of all, I want to apologize, and I want to read one of our statutes. Paterson Code 5-20J, Rule 11, according to the quorum vote and Robert Orders of Rules, it states a majority of the full membership of the council shall constitute a quorum. Should no quorum attend within 10 minutes after the hour appointed for the meeting of the council, the president, or in his absence, the vice president, in their absence, both the clerk or his designee may thereupon adjourn the meeting until the next day unless by a unanimous agreement, those members present select another hour or day. The reason why I chose not to leave within 10 minutes, because on the agenda tonight in payment of bills, we have payments, payroll that is on here for our employees. They deserve to get paid. There's a lot of city business. There's a payment to the school district, and so we chose to wait. I apologize for this late start, an hour and 5 minutes late. Madam Clerk, could you please call the meeting to order?
Yes, Madam President. Roll call for Municipal Council workshop session of June 15, 2021 at 6:30 p.m. Councilman Abdelaziz, Councilwoman Cotton, Councilman Davila, Councilman Jackson,
Here.
Councilman Kalik,
Here.
Councilman Mendez.
Good evening, Madam Clerk. Sorry for being late. I've been stuck on traffic for 3.5 hours, so I'm here, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Rivera, Councilman Velez.
Just want to add what Council President just stated, that also giving the respect to the public that's here, also to the viewers out there. That's why we stay here. My vote is yes.
Thank you. Madam President.
So first of all, I want to congratulate Council President Rivera on the birth of his new beautiful baby girl. So that's why he's not in on tonight. Also, Councilwoman Cotton is on vacation, so I wanted to let the record reflect. I'm present, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. May I continue with the statement?
Yes, please.
Yes. At this time, I'll read a statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law 2020 to 2021, meeting date June 15, 2021, time 6:30 p.m. Adequate notice of this meeting was compiled and disseminated in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law in the following manner. 1. The annual notice of regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council was compiled for the year 2020 to 2021 on or about July 1, 2020. 2. A schedule of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council for the year 2020 to 2021 was duly transmitted on or about July 1, 2020 to the North Jersey Herald News, The Record, The Arabic Voice, Italian Voice, Passaic County Pulse, Dominicana News, Quisqueira International, El Especial, the Paterson Press, City Post News, and Tap into Paterson, in addition to any other publication duly requesting such notices. 3. The schedule of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council for the year 2020 to 2021 was permanently posted in the lobby of City Hall, first floor, in the place reserved for the announcements of this type. 4. The schedule of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council for the year 2020 to 2021 was duly filed with the municipal clerk. 5. A copy of the schedule of regular meetings of the Municipal Council was mailed to any person who requested and paid the fee authorized by the Open Public Records Act. Madam President.
Clerk, can we please do the payment of bills? Can I have a motion?
Yes, Madam President. Summary of this disbursement, we have a total payments of $12,806,919.07. Out of it, we have a payroll of over $4.5 million. Also, a payment to Board of Education, $4.5 million as well. I motion to move to get this payment paid.
Move.
Second.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Kalik, second by Councilwoman Mims and Velez. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call for payment of bills in the amount of $12,806,919.07. Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Kalik.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Before my vote, I would definitely I would like to continue. I recommended that the administration to please take a look into the overtime. So we're exceeding in almost every category the last year versus this year. So please take a look at that area. which is a big concern, especially at least for me. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Velez?
The administration, we are understaffed, so probably that overtime is justified, but if we could fill those positions to make sure that we have some kind of saving on it. So my vote is yes.
Thank you. Madam President?
Yes.
The vote is 5 in favor, 4 absent. Payment of bills in the amount of $12,806,919.07 is hereby adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The discussion for the Housing Authority, we are going to place that on next week's agenda.
Okay.
We're going to put that on next week, okay? Second reading items, first reading ordinances are all good for next week, Madam Clerk?
That's item 6 and 7, correct?
Yes, so items 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Where's mine?
6, 7.
For Public Works, on page, items 26 through 31, they're all award of contracts. Let's put them all on regular, Madam Clerk.
Madam President,
Yes.
item number 8, that resolution, that ordinance was never, the clerk office did not receive that ordinance.
Corporation Council, I just want to put it on the record, it was signed off on today by Economic Development, he's here. And then the draft final will be given to the council members between now and our first reading vote on next week.
Okay, so it's okay, all right, thank you.
Yes.
So number 9, I'm sorry, that's okay. All right,
Yes.
I'm sorry, number 10, that's where you were? Correct.
Number 10, consent, Madam Clerk?
Consent,
Yes.
thank you.
Public Works, items 26 through 31, they're all award of contracts on regular, Madam Clerk?
26 through 31, they're
On
all
regular.
regular. 26, 30, 31,
Item number 11, regular.
okay.
On the finance item, these are renewals of entertainment licenses and laundromats, items 15 through 22.
Council President,
Yes, Councilman Velez.
do you did number 10?
Yes, she
Yes.
said consent.
Okay, before you send it to consent, I had a question. Is no matching grant on this?
Sure, Councilman Velez.
No matching grant? Is,
Council President, Councilman Velez, no matching grant.
No,
okay, all right, thank you.
thank you. Items for finance 15 through 23, all are on consent. These are dance hall license, coin-operated laundry license, bazaar in Eastside Park, 21st Ave, 15 through 23, consent.
Madam President.
Council President.
Councilman Mendez?
Sure, before we move with the item on finance 15 to 23 and consent, I know I see a lot of renewal of license. Do we have any record, any of call for service on any of those entities?
For 23?
Correct.
It was included in our package. If you go through or look on your, in the agenda, all of that is attached to the item.
23, we need a little bit more clarification on 23.
So if you want us to put that on regular, we can
Yes.
do that? Okay.
Until we- yes.
So 15 through 22 on consent, number 23 on regular, Madam Clerk.
Yes, I have it.
Health and Human Services, 24, 25, and 40, 24 and 25 are consent. And then 40 and 41 are regular, awards of contracts. 38 is a bazaar, and for our Bangladesh American Council, that's consent, number 38, Madam Clerk.
Yes, I have that.
42 is regular, the appointment of Mr. Aslan Gal to the Paterson Parking Authority. Items 32 and 33, consent, Madam Clerk.
32, 33,
And then 34, 35, 36, 37 are regular.
okay, so 34 has to be regular.
Yeah, 34, 35, 36, 37 are regular. And then we have Community Development, 12 and 13, these were vetted through Community Development, myself, Councilwoman Cotton is the chair, Councilwoman Davila, Councilman Khalik. There's some great things that are happening here. We're going to put them both on regular, number 12 and 13. And number 14, regular as well, Madam Clerk.
Move to adjourn.
No
Just kidding.
adjournment.
Madam President?
Yes, Councilman Khalik.
Number 37, I see the director is here. If any of the council member have any question about their seat.
Yes. So item number 37, we do have.
We don't want to have a 1 hour discussion on next regular meeting.
Yes. So for item number 37, Madam Clerk, could you read that into the record for 37? And if there are any questions, we have our Director, Orlando Cruz, who is with us tonight. First of all, before it's read into the record, I want to commend you on providing the comparative analysis over the last 3 years, making sure it was crystal clear on what everything was, its allocations. We properly vetted it in finance. And so, Madam Clerk, could you just read number 37 into the record?
All right, number 37, this is the introduction of the budget for downtown SID. Resolution addressing 2021 budget procedure requirements for the Downtown Industrial Park Special Improvement District, authorizing reading by title only, authorizing budget introduction, directing the clerk to advertise it and schedule a public hearing, and directing the assessor to prepare an assessment roll of properties within the district.
Discussion.
Councilman Velez?
The director is here?
Yes. Director Cruz?
Director Cruz, thank you for coming. Last year was $300,000. This year is $315,000. What's that?
2 years ago it was 300, last year was 315, today, this year.
Last year was $315,000?
Correct. So this year, the budget stayed exactly the same. There was no increases.
What's different? Nothing different?
Nothing different at all. Same exact budget as last year.
This
We were
was
able to maintain services throughout the pandemic, maintain the maintenance crew, which were all Patersonians, which we're proud to say we kept Patersonians employed during the pandemic. And everything stays exactly the same for this upcoming year as well.
Do you have any chance a quorum for vote for this budget in your
Yes.
organization? How much was the vote?
I believe we received about 42 million affirmative votes to
42 what?
million. So the voting process, same
Oh,
as
yeah, I
every
got you.
year,
Yeah, I remember that.
assessed property value. So we got about 42 million in affirmative votes, so about 6 million in no votes, which is the average that we normally get every year.
All right, so I know this is the first ward in SID. Are you aware, what's the Washington Street by the old farmer market, whatever it is?
Fair Street?
I know, Washington.
Washington Street,
Yeah,
by the farmer's market down below?
yeah.
Yes.
That's also an SID. too,
Correct.
right? Correct. Are you guys putting people walk there to clean it and this and that?
Yeah, the maintenance crew walks throughout the entire district, every block and lot, every street. So they're on 7 a.m. until 3 p.m.
I noticed that one of the letters that you sent to, the SID sent to the members, and it was a concern because it says that the SID do power watch
Yeah,
at
so
sidewalks.
we do a power washing campaign to random sidewalks throughout the district, especially the ones where the restaurants are, because when they put their bags out every day, they tend to put it with the solid waste, and since they don't put it in containers, the bags sometimes leak and leave oil stains. So we have hit various strips throughout the district with a power washing campaign, which we've already done this year, which we will continue to do as weather permits up until the winter.
There's a corner, Washington and Main and Broadway, towards the Memorial Drive, that section there on Washington between Memorial Drive and
Broadway
and
and Main Street?
Broadway.
Okay,
I will invite you to take a look at it
Okay.
because I have breakfast there almost every day, so they brought up that concern. They
Got it.
would like to see the power wash around there.
absolutely. So I would say it's probably on schedule to get a power wash eventually. I'll find out exactly when, and I'll let you know.
Thank you, Council
Madam
President.
President.
Councilman Mendez and then Councilman Jackson.
Thank you, Madam President. Director, how many staff you have? What's the amount of staff that you have right now, full-time?
The subcontract company has about 6 to 8 guys on staff for their daily maintenance.
So you say 6 to 8
6 to 8 on rotation.
per day?
Yeah, per day. Every day, 7 days a week, from, like I said, from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay, I know that you know the situation that we're facing when it comes to the downtown, when the homeless population that we have in downtown, drug addict people, harassing business owners.
Yes.
I think that, and I make this recommendation to the VA, and see how can you guys put something together to address a problem in terms of safety. I see that I don't see the safety component on your budget, and that's something that I would like to see. How can you incorporate that in the budget? Because that's one of the biggest problems that our business owner in downtown have. They don't have, the police presence is not there, and we understand that we're overwhelming with a call for service. But, having you budget there and all the business owner, they put a portion of the taxes to put this seat together. So I think that will be very important. So if you sit down with the administration and come up with a plan to hire, it could be a private company, it could be whatever you guys decide. But I believe that with this budget, this seat, you will be able to help the downtown business owner and also the police department by getting into some sort of police presence there.
I completely agree, Councilman. The administration knows we're in constant communication. In regard to that, my guys, when they arrive early in the morning, it's kind of the first thing they witness. They usually take pictures, send it to me. I'm in constant communication with the police director. We usually address the issues along with DPW, where we remove a lot of the material that the homeless people leave behind. A lot of them aren't homeless, but we know it's the universal issue that the city is facing in general. We do see it downtown. We address it as it comes in, but I do agree that I think between this SID and the administration, we can come up with a more feasible, creative way to address these issues.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman Mendez. Councilman Jackson?
Thank you, Council President. Director, you said it's 6 employees under the third-party company's purview?
Yes.
What's the average salary per employee?
I believe they start at around $9.75 an hour.
Yearly salary?
I'd have to do the math. I mean, they get paid hourly, so
They're part-time or full-time?
full-time.
They're full-time? They get benefits?
I'm not sure. I'd have to ask the entity that hires them. I'd have to ask.
You're the director, right?
Yeah, but we subcontract that service, so I don't have all those details in front of me. I can have them for you for the next meeting, but
What's the percentage that the company makes in profit versus what we spend from the $200,000?
I believe that in the packet that I provided, there's a breakdown of how they allocate their funding that we provide to them. We pay them a flat fee. How they break it down is internally done through them. I can get that information for you, but I believe there's a similar breakdown maybe that can answer those questions provided, but I will find out about the employee benefits. What's important about this company is that part of the agreement with them is that they hire Patersonians, and that's what they've been able to do.
So I apologize because I wasn't given this breakdown, surprisingly, considering, especially knowing what my thoughts have been throughout the past several years. Councilwoman Mims just handed it to me. So out of the $200,000, $45,000, I'm assuming if this is the document we're talking about, $45,000 would be the amount set aside for salaries. It says personnel, $45,000.
Are you looking at the SID budget, or are you looking at CDS's breakdown? Because I think in there's,
The SID budget.
so our budget wouldn't have the breakdown of the subcontractor.
So personnel for $45,000, was that your position?
That was my salary 2 years ago. The board decided to increase my salary to $60,000, and that's where I'm currently at. but I started at 45,000, so that's probably what that reflects.
So there's no breakdown here. I mean, if you could provide that information, that would be
Yeah,
great.
I'll make sure you get
I
it.
would also like to see a breakdown of the voting summary, all of the list, a full list of all the owners, their, Madam Clerk, you're taking the notes for the director, right?
Yeah.
So a full
Yes,
list
Mr.
of all the voters within the SID, their percentage based on the values of their property, and the number of whoever participated in the vote, if possible. The number, just a few of the members that have been complaining that have been receiving summonses on Market Street, and coincidentally, none of them have participated in the vote.
We have a number of ballots returned from properties on Market Street.
Return meaning what?
So when I mail out the ballots to the property owners, they get basically what you guys get, and they get a ballot where they vote on the budget.
So return meaning
Returned back to
They-
the office.
they voted,
They
or-
voted, they returned it in the affirmative, and we keep those in record in our office. I can't disclose how they voted to you. What we normally do is provide you with the tally of the votes.
that's fine. All who participated in the votes and the tally will be fine.
Yeah.
Thank you, Director. Just quickly, Councilman Jackson, if you go to DocuWare, item number 37, all of the items that you're requesting was a part of the packet that was sent to us. So if you go into item 37, there's 21 pages of information. If you just click probably to page 20, 19, 20, you'll see some of the CDS information. Councilman Abdelaziz?
I just want to commend the executive director. Every year he comes in front of us with a budget and that enhances and improves the downtown area. I think if you look at municipalities throughout the throughout the state, SIDs help drive up economic development and businesses in the area. I am looking to hopefully bring one down to the 6th Ward. I know I see some of the 6th Ward business owners here, and I'm glad they're here hearing this because I do see a difference when I drive by. So I just want to commend that a Patersonian, a 6th Ward resident, is leading this charge, and everyone that's working, as which the executive director told us, he is a Patersonian. The people that are subcontracted out is mandated for Patersonian. So I like that initiative. So thank you, Director.
Council
And
President.
I say ditto to that. Councilman Velez?
Yeah, thank you. I don't want to extend it too long. I see two items here, and I have a question for you after this item. So the rent went up 3 times, from 6,000 to 19,000? The rent of, I'm looking at the paper here.
The 19,000 is the total that we allocate for office and administration.
So it was 6,000.
Maybe just the rent line, but there's also other office admin line items that go to the 19,000. So rent is a part of the 19.
Now, I know I spoke to you, I believe, way before the pandemic regarding, when you look at, we have a history district. We have
Historic
the-
district.
Historic district. And we have the downtown ZIT. Can you extend the ZIT to at least Slater Street, as we spoke? Because there's a lot of commercial there, and it's so close to the downtown, well, not even a block, but, you know.
So you can extend, I can't. So it would have to be a council ordinance to extend the boundary lines of the SID, which I would be open to having the conversation. I think when the SID was originally created, the idea was not to interfere with the Great Falls Historic District, but I think times has changed, and I think that there is definitely an opportunity to open up that conversation, extending, the services, instead of them stopping on Cianci Street, but maybe going to Mill Street. And then,
Correct.
as you said, instead of it stopping on Ward Street, going down to Grand Street. I think that those businesses and properties will definitely, benefit immensely. I mean, last year alone, we collected over 25,000 bags of garbage broken down on a daily basis. We encountered over 400 illegal dumpings in the morning. We addressed over 300 graffiti properties. And that was in a pandemic year. And as I said, the staff work daily sanitizing public amenities.
There's something you have to address, and I know my good director, DPW, have addressed it before, and the workers of DPW, but there's a furniture store, Cianci. How you said it? Who is Italian?
Chauncey.
Cianci. Right there between, when you get off of Route 19, you make a left.
Yeah, so that's the back part of the furniture store where El Mundo used to be.
Correct.
That's the back part of it.
And the thing is that they are leaving their cardboards out there. So
Early.
those cardboard ends on the little park in the
Yeah.
entrance and this and that, they be using as a housing
Yeah.
thing. You have to, I stopped there once and I spoke to them. The cardboard was all over, I cannot ignore it. If it's not my ward, but if I drive through there, I had to stop. So I stopped my night rider and I spoke there with them as a friendly because all those cardboards ends at the two section.
Yep.
One in the 5th Ward and one in the 1st Ward. So,
So I definitely have been in communication with the DPW director about that. I know he sent the recycling supervisor there a number of times to speak to that business owner. So we'll just continue working with that.
the corporate counsel, you say that we can change or add in the ordinance of the SID. Can you look into how to amend it to see if we could move forward to add or extend it up to Slater Street? I know that is a lot of businesses there and a lot of people think it's downtown, but it's too close to downtown. So we could get the benefit of the street cleaning and the graffiti removal and all that.
Absolutely, yes. We can look into that.
To see if we could amend and bring it back to discussion.
Yes, Council.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Velez. Thank you, Director, for being efficient and always effective. Thank you for all you do. CDS is doing an amazing job downtown. I know there's a great partnership with you and DPW, all the work you do for this city, and we applaud you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
To the public at large, just to let you know, item 39 is regular, Madam Clerk. The agenda is complete. All items have been viewed, vetted, and they're resolved. At this point, we're going to open public portion, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Madam President. At this time, the public portion is now open. I'll tell you how many speakers. I have double page tonight. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Roughly about 15 people. I think former Councilman Morris had left. So the next speaker is Ms. Tina Miles.
So before the speakers come, let me just set the decorum. There is a time limit for every speaker. The time limit is 3 minutes. There will be a bell or a buzzer that goes off. At that point, the next speaker is able to come to the podium. So I just want to put it on record that the decorum, there is a level of decorum that is set in this council chamber. So you have 3 minutes. I always recommend to the public when you're coming to consolidate, refine your thoughts, and make sure you hit and punch them as best as you can within 3 minutes, because we have to give credence to the rest of the people that have sat here and waited to speak as well. So thank you, Madam Clerk. First speaker.
Yes, Madam President. First speaker is Ms. Tina Miles. Is Ms. Miles here?
Ms. Miles,
Okay.
not here.
Next speaker is Dr. Carlos Ruder. I think
He left as well,
He
Madam
left.
Clerk.
Okay, next speaker is Donald Edwards, Mr. Donald Edwards.
He left as well.
think
He was
he
with the
left.
other group.
Next speaker, Ms. Tatiana Portugal.
Yes, Ms.
she
Portugal.
She's here.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Ms. Portugal.
I just wanted to ask one question. I think it goes towards the administration. I was just wondering if you guys had reached out to the state to see if they can clean the entrances and exits of Paterson. Did you guys do that at all? Or I guess if that can be answered afterwards. Yeah, thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Portugal. And we'll allow the BA to respond to that after. I'll make sure of that, okay? Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Yes, ma'am. Next speaker is Mr. Michael Eitel.
Mr. Edo Pass. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Lynn Godfrey. Look like Lynn.
They're not here. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
This look like Yusuf Baker. I think it's Baker, I'm not sure.
Yusuf left. Next speaker, Madam
So the
Clerk.
next speaker is Mr. Ernest Rucker.
Oh,
Mr.
he left.
Good evening, Mr. Rucker.
Oh, okay, all right. All right, okay.
He's not leaving council.
Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Rucker.
Good evening, Ernest Rucker. I want to quickly go through the first item because I do have something else that I want to discuss. There was an article in the paper, and I believe all of you read it, where a cop was arrested for assault. This same cop had 4 other charges that went to litigation. So I'm going to ask the administration to, if I have to over it, I will, but what I would like to know is how many other cops are on the force that have those types of records that we're not really checking them out to see exactly what's going on and why are they still on the streets. But I also want to say, I called the director, and I spoke to the director, I spoke to the chief, and I believe that I don't want to give the entire police force a bad name, but if we do not get rid of the bad apples, the pie will not be edible. So we need to really, the culture of the police department is going to change sooner or later. It's not something that's not going to happen, it's inevitable. So I think we need to begin that process now. And as far as the de-escalation program and training that they're coming on, I'm making a recommendation that members of the community be looked at to participate in that de-escalating training, because it's very difficult for you to train somebody to de-escalate something and they've never been in that position or they're not from this community. So I will be contacting the administration further to get further information, and I will be working with the police director to get this moving. Second of all, I know it's not on the agenda today, but there's something coming to the agenda on the marijuana tax. This is something that I want to make sure everyone understands. Makes no difference about your religious beliefs or anything else. This was voted on in the state of New Jersey overwhelmingly to legalize marijuana. We have it. Either we take advantage of this gift of new taxes and directly earmark those tax dollars to recreation. A lot of things has happened because of the drug trade. A lot of our kids have been harmed. And now we have an opportunity to utilize this same money that's coming from the taxes and create something different and new. Also, from what I understand, that the legislation will spell it out very clearly, that you have to be from Paterson. You get that first preference. And I hope it doesn't work the same way that this council has worked with hiring, or this administration at times with hiring, and not from the city of Paterson. The bottom line is, we have liquor stores, and I know some people are saying it's going to be close to a school. We have liquor stores close to schools. Every block that you go on in any school, and in any neighborhood, you have a liquor store. But we're not going to tell people they're not going to drink. Now that marijuana is legal, I'm going to wrap this up. We're not going to be able to tell them they're not going to smoke marijuana. There was a shooting a couple of weeks ago over a marijuana corner. They were fighting over the revenues from a marijuana corner. If we control marijuana in the correct way, we take the money out of those guys standing on the corner trying to make a profit and shooting each other because they want the corner. So I believe that this situation with marijuana, and I see some of your faces. You're not going to stop people from smoking. You're not going to stop people from drinking. And your religion or anything else is not going to create a new atmosphere where marijuana is going to disappear. So if we got it, and it's going to be legal, it is legal, then we need to find a way to take those revenues through taxes and shore up our recreational department, earmark it, goes no place else. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rucker. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Madam President. Next speaker, Diab Mustafa.
Good evening, Mr. Mustafa.
Good evening, Council President and all council members.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I agree with the gentleman here that we need a lot of more recreation. Actually, we have a sign here that says, "Dear respected city council members and mayor, we demand recreational activities for our youth. But I disagree with you that we do not need recreational marijuana for our adults. And I'm here to speak very strongly against selling, retail, or delivery, or any other form of recreational marijuana in the city of Paterson. A lot of the cities around us that don't have minorities are already opting out of all 6 licenses. And I hate that the message that goes that everything goes in Paterson. And in Paterson, we're not gonna even discuss it. It's all about the money. It's not about the money that the city is gonna lose because of legalizing marijuana or selling retail marijuana is gonna offset a lot more than the money, the 2% the city might make from it. And it's not about the money. There's a lot of other things more important. The image of the city of Paterson. You guys are doing a great job of improving the image of the city of Paterson. We don't want to take a step backward and say everyone from all these white neighborhoods, and I'm not prejudiced, will come and buy marijuana from Paterson. So we are here, and I'm not speaking just on behalf of myself, I'm speaking on behalf of my community. I'm the chairman of the Palestinian American Community Center. We had a meeting last night that included representatives from all communities, Hispanics, blacks, Bengalis, Turks, and they all share the same sentiment, that we need to send a strong message. Passaic is doing it. Passaic is saying we're not gonna sacrifice our image. I think you guys are gonna do the right thing. We have trust in you to do the right thing. And God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mustafa. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Madam President. Next speaker, I'm not sure of this name. It looks like Reed. It's like R-E-E-D, and the last name is O-O-E-H on 963 Main Street. Okay,
Hi.
can you repeat your name for me, please, sir?
Yes, R-A-E-D, last name O-D-H, Raed Odi.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening, how are
Good
you,
evening.
sir? How you doing? I'm also here for the same reason. I'm against the idea of allowing the sale of marijuana in the city of Paterson. Our community have struggled a lot for long years, and we have witnessed a lot of death because of the overdose in our community, and the numbers is extremely large. And if in my way coming here, I was driving through Broadway coming here, and if you look through your left and through your right, you will see what's going on in Paterson. Me personally, as a person who was working on a drugs file in our community for the past 30 years, I have witnessed a lot of death. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds of young kids dying because of opiates. And we have done a lot of searches, and we spoke to a lot of those families who lost their loved ones. How did this happen? And every time we talk to a family member or a friend, how did this person die? How did he get to use heroin? How the hell did he get to overdose and die? They all start saying, yeah, he started with marijuana. Marijuana is a gateway to harder drugs. And if you want to see the numbers of people dying more in Paterson, this will be on you, our council people. This will be on you. If you know a person, or if you have a friend who knows a person who lost a loved one because of opioid and drugs, you will know exactly what I mean. And our Paterson, we have to stay strong as one community united against drugs, against allowing the marijuana to target and kill our children. And please vote no for marijuana. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Madam Clerk, next speaker.
Yes, Madam President. Next speaker is Saeed Elab. SD. Is he here? Next person is...
He's here, he's here.
He's coming.
He's coming.
Madam Clerk.
He's just dropping his
Good
camera.
evening, Mr. Saeed.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Saeed Atab. I'm a victim of the...
Can you speak
Can
to
you
the
speak
mic?
into the mic, please?
No, this way, this can be for video. I am one of the victims of the marijuana. One of the victims. My daughter, she died from overdose from
Speak to the mic, please. Speak to the mic.
In front of the mic, right?
No, put the
Like
phone
this?
right. Yes,
Perfect.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Saeed, and my family was a victim from marijuana. My daughter, she died from overdose, taking heroin. My daughter, when she was in high school, she started using marijuana. And after she used the marijuana for a while, the marijuana doesn't satisfy her anymore. She started taking drugs, heavy drugs. After she started taking heavy drugs, she started doing illegal stuff. She started stealing from me, stealing from everyone to support her habit. Later on, she ended up in jail, Passaic County Jail. And because of some fraud she did. So after that, they find out that she's drug addict. She went, they took her to some rehab in Newark. She stayed over there for almost like 1 year. And they released her, she was good, and they sent her back to probation over here. After she went to probation, she met some guy. He's like in the probation. And he let her relapse. After 2 years, she stopped taking drugs. He let her relapse and start using drugs together. And once in Valentine night, she came from work. She came from work and said she wanted to celebrate Valentine in their house. He beat her up and he kicked her out from her house. He kicked her out from her house and she went to the car and she used, I think maybe she took some drugs. And she dropped dead, and he was having fun with his friend in the house. And she died. And he woke up in the morning after he took a lot of drugs. He woke up in the morning, and he went to check the car, and he saw her dead, and he called the cops on her. But because of her, he beat her up in her own house. That's her house, it's not his house. She went to the car to hide from him. And she made a mistake, and she took drugs, and she died. And she ended up a tragic story. This is a tragedy from the beginning. Start from using marijuana. Start from high school. The high school is the high school. We have a high school here. All the kids they using marijuana, and they start with marijuana. They end up drug addict. They can have drugs, and we are paying the price. And now because we have this new law for using marijuana is illegal, you're going to see all the kids using marijuana, and the marijuana is not will be enough for them. They're going to go to the other step of the second step is going to be drugs. And you're going to see all our kids. Every week we have one kid die in Paterson because of drug addiction. Marijuana is not going to kill you, but after the marijuana, when you use more powerful drugs, you're going to take the other drugs, you're going to drop that. And please, I'm asking the city of Paterson to stop the beginning of drug addiction from the marijuana. And later on, you're going to see all our kids are like walking zombie in the street. I have 2 children in the house big. I cannot even talk to them. Once my son, he want to beat me up because I told him, stop using marijuana. They become zombie. When they're 16, 14, 15-year-old, you're talking to him, you're talking to a wall. And end up, he become out of control, and doesn't make him happy anymore. He's going to go to the other stage of drug addict. So the marijuana is the beginning of drug addiction. And after you start become drug addiction, you're going to drop dead. And the family will going to suffer. See, I'm suffering from this because my daughter, I never let her stop to take marijuana in the beginning. But you cannot control it because they tell them in high school, you are free. This is America. You know, you do whatever you want. So they take the power of their parents.
Excuse me, Mr. Saeed.
It's finished?
Yes.
Finished?
Yes. There's a 3-minute limitation I would allow you to go over.
Oh, okay. That's
but
it.
thank you. I hear your passion, and we.
Yeah, I'm telling you about the story.
Yes.
There is a tragedy going to happen in Paterson from marijuana usage, and that's it. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Saeed. Thank you, Mr. Saeed.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Is there another speaker?
Council President?
Yes, Madam President.
Next speaker?
Yes, there are 3 more speakers. The next speaker is Mr. Elvis Durham.
Mr. Durham?
Mr. Elvis Durham, 283 Broadway, Paterson, New Jersey. Y'all can hear me?
Good evening, yes.
First thing I want to talk about the DPW department. They need a raise, especially the people that work at the police station. They need a raise, and it's unbelievable how much they get paid. Unbelievable, it's crazy. So they need a raise. Third largest city in New Jersey. We should be ashamed of ourselves. The city crime situation is out of control. I'm talking to the administration here. How y'all doing? Right? I had introduced myself last week. You remember, right? I know you remember. We got a lot of gun shooting going on. I would like to see the Paterson Police Department and the Sheriff's Department work together. We need that on the streets of Paterson, okay? I also would like to see the FBI in here, okay? If you need help, get the help, okay? You can't do everything by yourself. Another thing, the downtown area. Got drug addicts all over the place in the downtown area. Paterson is the only downtown that have this problem in New Jersey. You go to Newark, you go to Jersey City, you go to Passaic, you don't see none of this. Why? Tell me, all that money y'all make, you see, y'all bread is butter. My bread is not butter. Y'all got a fat paycheck. Why y'all can't clean up the downtown area? Why y'all can't do y'all job? Y'all was appointed to do a doggone job. I asked y'all to bring police in work. I know I seen police cars. Let them get out their cars and walk the downtown area and move them drug addicts, because it's a different. Drug addicts and homeless is a totally different. We got drug addicts in the downtown area. Miss and misters. Hey, excuse me, with the nice suit? Is it Walmart suit or what? You hear me talking, right? Okay? We got drug addicts in the downtown area. You get paid to hear me speak. Your bread is butter, my bread is not butter. Do your job, okay? Do your job. You trying to ignore me like you better than me? I tell you what, you ain't nobody, okay?
Mr.
That's all I have to say.
Point of order.
Hey,
No,
don't take it that way.
One second, Councilman Velez.
Councilman.
1 second, Councilman Velez.
I'm talking about the downtown. That's not your war. If Mike Jackson ain't saying nothing, you shouldn't say nothing.
Mr. Durham.
The downtown, Council President, downtown area need to be clean. And I'm demanding respect right now.
Mr. Durham.
Yes, Council
I just
President.
want to interject really quickly. Your expressions are great, and your passion and the issues that you have.
He disrespect me.
But 1 second, Mr. Durham. From that side to this side, no matter how you feel, we can't have a level of disrespect.
But y'all keep saying it's administration. Y'all keep saying it's no money, right? So why we keep voting for a governor that don't want to give us money for policing? Okay, the money come from the state. Okay? Do your job and put pressure on the governor. And don't look at me like I'm crazy. Do your damn job.
Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Madam President. Next speaker is Constance Watson.
I think she left, Madam Clerk.
And last but not least, Miss Michelle Tobias.
Good evening, Ms. Tobias.
Good evening, Ms. Mims.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening,
Michelle,
Michelle.
good evening.
I came to speak to a couple council members that are not here. And I didn't come to disrespect anyone, but I came to speak my mind. Ms. Mims, thank you for reaching out to me when I told you what was taking place with my grandbaby. I thank you.
You're welcome.
Because you're the only one who was concerned. I reached out to Fourth Ward Council lady, no response back. But I can't talk to her because she's not here. Now, I'd like to say hello to Michael Jackson. I know we had our differences, but I thank you for going to my granddaughter's house and talking to her. Now, I'm coming to Luis Velez. That's your ward. And I would like to ask you, I know it's nothing you could do with my grandbaby getting shot, But I would like to know why you couldn't at least call her up, talk to her, because she don't know what's going on.
I don't know where is this.
I'm here tonight because I know the council can't stop the shooting. I know the city is horrible. I know this is a bad situation for all of us. But something has to be done with the administration, the police department. Everybody got to come on board, because every day this phone rings to me telling me shooting on Straight Street, shooting on Park Ave, shooting on Hamilton Ave, shooting everywhere. Council members, I'm old and I'm afraid. So I know my grandbaby is hurting. I can't do the things I used to do to come outside anymore. I used to love to come here. I'm afraid to come down the street just to come to the council meeting. I never in my entire life saw so many people sleeping around the city hall in boxes. Okay, my heart goes out to them. But I can't even go in the bank because they're in the bank. They're sitting at the bank like door people. Okay, I understand this is a body that has a job to do ward to ward. But my body, for my ward, nothing is being done. It's the worst I've ever seen. So I would like to know, can the council, myself, the police, that drug addiction on the street is even worse. This gentleman on my shirt got hold of some fentanyl and he's dead. So we got to do something. I'm sorry to be so mad, but my heart is hurting that a little 13-year-old girl can't even go to a party for, I think it was graduation, and walking down the street and get hit with a bullet. So I'm not trying to disrespect you, Velez, but I want to know, and I want to know, where's that mayor? Why he couldn't come to some of these kids who got shot and give them a hand and tell them it's going to be all right? So please, I'm going to tell you again, Louis, I'm not disrespecting you, but reach out to my granddaughter and tell her she's going to be all right. Because her arm is in bad shape where the bullet went through, and she's clamped up. I thank everybody for listening. And I thank you again, Ms. Mims, for reaching out to me. And I want to say one thing to the business administrator. I live on Straight Street. And when you get to Hamilton Ave and Straight, there's a abandoned building next to a store, and they're sleeping in it. And like I said, I have to go back and forth. And I am afraid today. So thank you. Could you look into it? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tobias. Thank you, Ms. Tobias. Any more speakers, Madam Clerk?
No, Madam President. There's
Motion
no
to
more
close.
speaker on the public portion.
Motion to close, second.
Second.
Motion to close by Councilman Mendez, second by Councilman Jackson. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call to close the public portion of the workshop session of June 15, 2021. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So we heard many speakers today discuss about the recreational marijuana legislation, and the clock is ticking. I don't know if my council colleagues know, we have to do something before August 22nd, or it is doors wide open for anyone to do business in the city and have no regulations or controls. We are at June 15th. I am urging the council president, council vice president, our next workshop meeting should be allocated to have this discussion on an ordinance. And many municipalities are already ahead of the curve. They made their decision. Do not push our backs against the wall and say we're too late, we missed the meeting, and the doors are wide open. At the next workshop meeting, we should have this discussion. I have a stance. I don't want to mention my stance without my colleagues here. I've done plenty of research. I will email all the council members the legislative briefing that the League of Municipalities have given. I will be calling my colleagues individually, but let's not be fooled, the administration. Our Corporation Council, because it's not the administration, next workshop, be prepared to answer the questions, and I want to be ready to vote by our next regular meeting. Not the next one, after the workshop coming up, because I know what's going to happen. We didn't notify on time, it didn't go to the public on time, and August 23rd comes through, and all the floodgates will be open, and the residents of the city of Paterson will lose. My vote is yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. First and foremost, Mr. Byers, I had no idea that the young lady who I went to visit was your granddaughter. So God has definitely have blessed you and your family. You have such a beautiful granddaughter. She is a beautiful little girl and so petite. I didn't expect her to be petite and have endured that terrible condition of actually being shot coming out of a party. No child, no person in our community deserves to have to experience that. No. And we have a wonderful family. Her mom is working hard to keep her children safe, and she has some, children that are now young adolescents. It's very difficult in our city. So again, I'm so happy that her injury isn't as serious as it possibly could have been, but she didn't deserve to experience that nonetheless. So my continued support and my heart goes out to you and your family. To the gentleman who lost your daughter, my heart goes out to you and your family as well. No one in this community ever has to explain that type of grief to me. Specifically, I don't drink, I've never smoked, and I've done so because of the impact that drugs has had on my family. I've lost, 3 aunts to drug-related conditions a long time ago, so drugs had a different kind of an impact on your family then. But, we really need to sit down and really talk about this, in its entirety. When you talk about this drug that your daughter had access to in high school, when you just look at that, is not allowing for the legalization in our community going to stop that? We see that these drugs are prevalent in our community, and they've actually overrun our entire schools, what's happening in the streets and things of that nature. And we also have to take under consideration that when you buy a drug in the street, you have no idea what you're getting. You don't know what kind of drug it is. You don't know if it's been laced with something. You don't know if this drug has been soaked in formaldehyde or rat poison and things of that nature. We have people in today's society that have nothing but bad intentions for other people. And people will do all kinds of things. So that's just another perspective. Obviously, this is a long conversation that's needed to be had. But I do, and again, my entire family, my parents, my grandparents, I have 14, 15, maybe more uncles and aunts, and every single one of them have had struggles in one way or another with drugs. And so I know drugs firsthand. I know every single element of drug addiction firsthand. So with that being said, there's a great deal that needs to be done within the regulatory area. And how else do you do that unless you create environments? Because unless we're going to end the drug scenario, the clock went off already, Council President, but I mean, it's very difficult when we're trying to address even, some of the people that are coming to the mic. We have to address all of their issues and concerns within a 3-minute time period. It's not fair to the public. Each and every member of the public that comes here deserves to be answered, and that's not happening. And lastly, I'll say this. This is America. This is America. Last I checked. I mean, maybe I need to get the theme song from, anyway. People are allowed to come to the mic and express themselves however they feel. We need to get over this sensitive, attitudes of where you don't have a right to come to the microphone and express yourself. The conditions outside in our community are absolutely horrendous. I don't know what people are actually looking at to say, oh, things are amazing and they're phenomenal, they're fabulous. It is not. It is not. Every single day we have another shooting victim. Every single day the entire community is absolutely filthy and atrocious. And we have people that are coming here showing their frustration. They're not being, the attention that they believe they deserve is not being paid to them, and they're frustrated. And then we have other people who are going on the line to try to curtail their First Amendment right of freedom of speech. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Kalik?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. First of all, sorry, Ms. Vyers, what has happened to your granddaughter. There should not be anybody out there in the city of Paterson has to go through that. And Mr. Mustafa, I agree with Councilman Abdulaziz. We need immediate discussion on that issue. I know that August 23rd is the deadline. If we don't act on it, state will take over automatically. They will dictate everything what's going to happen in the city of Paterson. Also to the administration, everything is not about money. Everything is not about revenue. You're going to present us that this recreational use of marijuana will bring us a big amount of money and revenue. City of Paterson already is known to be a drug den in the state of New Jersey. Look, Wayne, Clifton, they already banned it. Why? Because they don't want nobody to go in their city and buy marijuana. And we should not, that's my belief, we should not have an open market in city of Paterson. But at least we still need to have a discussion with the full council and the administration, and I think we should do it immediately. And to close the public portion, my vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Michelle, God bless you. How are you? I haven't seen you in a while. I feel so sorry for what you and your daughter are going through. The reality is that the city is just out of control with the amount of shooting that we have. Every single day we have one or more than one shooting, and we have our kids being killed in our community. That's a serious situation that we all suffering and we all going through. I've been recommending in multiple occasions to the administration to please go out and look for help. Any law enforcement around the state, any law enforcement entity around the state, we have to reach out to every and one of those entities because what we're going through is difficult right here in this city. And on top of that, the drug addict, the homeless population that we have in the city is just out of control. I mentioned now we have the improvement district budget, but I mentioned this to the administration at the last meeting, I believe so. And it was the seat that we have, the improvement district in downtown, to allocate those funding or reallocate the funding in terms of security, because quite honestly, when I call the radio room maybe 10 or 15 times during the weekend between Friday and Sunday night. I have to call the police, and the response is the same. We don't have the manpower. We don't have any unit available because the amount of phone call. Now, that improvement district, that's their responsibility to allocate or reallocate the funding and bring security in downtown, and at least to alleviate the problem. But the homeless population and the drug addict, that's city-wide. And that's something that we got to have that discussion. And to Mr. Mustafa, and drug, it's a serious problem in our society at this moment. And the life of millions of kids, with bright future, going down the drain because of the drug. We definitely, we got to have a serious conversation about that, because unfortunately it's been approved by the state. But we need to see that as a governing body and set the rules in what we're going to allow in our city, because my fear is that if we don't take action, then whatever the state mandate, then we're not going to have no say on that, and they're going to be able to do whatever they want in our city. And that's really scary. That's very, very scary. So since we're running out of time, I don't know if Corporation Council will be able to have at least some sort of legislation for the next workshop I don't know, I think we only have one meeting in July. So in order for us to be in compliance, it's gonna have to be a special meeting, maybe, I believe so. I'm not quite sure, but I share the same concern that you guys are sharing. I'm afraid about things that could happen in our city. I'm afraid, I will tell you that. But we gotta take action. We gotta sit down as one community, and decide what's gonna happen with our city and how we're gonna protect our children, how we're gonna protect our youth, with all those legislation that are happening. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Velez?
Thank you. Let me address quickly to see if I have time to do this. Ms. Portugal, administration needs to get back to us regarding the communication between the city and the state regarding our entrance and exit, not just one day. They need to have a schedule at least twice a week to make sure that our entrance and exit looks better or more better than the one that when we pass Paterson. We all know what's going on, especially when they have a regional site on Route 20. So we need to put pressure on the state to make sure DOT is keeping our entrance and exit neat. That's one thing. Second, I know Mr. Ernest Rucker stated, to forget about our religion belief. I cannot forget about that. I know where I came from. I know what my parents taught us, and I know the consequence of using marijuana and upgrading the need. If the marijuana is not helping, they're gonna go to other kind of. But I want to bring this to my colleagues on June 4th. All right, through my secretary send a email to corporate counsel, and it states like this: Councilman Velez is requesting that an ordinance be drafted regarding the prohibition of marijuana for the next workshop on Tuesday, June 15, 2021. Please see attached information. I gave them the information, what they need to draft, and assist the preparation of that ordinance. And that was in June 4th. So I was expecting to see the draft, okay, but unless we don't have the conversation, or at least have a conversation and move forward with the draft. So I'm pushing for that. I know where I came from. I have families that started with marijuana. They ended bad if I didn't recover them back. And last but not least, Mr. Tobias, Michelle, we receive the text of a lot of incidents with gunshots and activities regarding a lot of things that happens, but they don't come with a name. They don't come with an address of the victims. We receive a text saying that a 14 or 15 years old was wounded in an incident on Market Street and Madison Street. No matter how much we ask, they minors, they're not gonna give us that information. Probably Councilwoman had the privilege that you call her, and probably she addressed that, but she didn't tell us who was it. So I was not aware. And more information I could get, a lot of people will not give that information out to us. I send my regards, okay? And if you could share the address with me, trust me, I will be there speaking to your granddaughter and to the victims without violating any kind of parents' rules or et cetera. But, I just want to let you know. And I addressed the situation way back. I asked the administration that we need foot patrol on Market and Park Avenue. And they've been doing it once a week, or when they want to, or when the chief of police is the one that runs that schedule. So I know they try to do their best. But more action needs to take action on situation like that.
Councilman Velez.
I'm trying to wrap up. There's a lot of things that the public came down here and
I don't want to interrupt you, but we have a special meeting with lawyers that are being paid by the clock. And so we have a 2-minute time limit. Same thing we expect of the public. We have to follow that as council as well. So could you please wrap it up?
So wrapping up, Paterson, stay tuned. And that's my opinion, okay? I think this is what really the community wants, more recreation and not marijuana recreation for adult. If they want to do it, they could do it. Let's be strong like other cities around us, that they don't want that in their city. Why dump it to Paterson like anything else? So, hey, I agree that it's already here, but we're not gonna give more tools to them to do it now. What about tomorrow? They say, like New York and Yonkers,
Councilman Velez.
I will wrap up, like Yonkers in New York, that they're legalizing prostitution. What's gonna happen? This is gonna turn worse than hell. My vote is yes.
Thank you. Madam President.
So just in closing, and I don't want to do it quick, but I will use Principal Joe Clark, who's my former principal's word, expeditiously. Mrs. Portugal, our Chief of Staff, will speak to you. She has worked on a lot of these projects with the State and the Governor's Office regarding the entrance and the exit to make sure there's cleanup. So she's going to speak to you. This is Chief of Staff. You see her in the pink. She'll make sure she does that. To Mr. Bias, you know, I love you. I'm praying for your granddaughter. If you need anything, let me know. You are absolutely correct. There is a serious issue with crime and shootings in the city of Paterson that we definitely need to take a look. And I think it's an all-hands-on-deck approach that needs to take place, from the children involved or the youth involved to the parents, schools, city, administration, everybody, clergy, faith-based community, everybody needs to get involved. But I'm praying for your granddaughter and all the other victims that have been impacted, so I'll reach out to you for that. To Corporation Counsel, and there's been, and I know Elvis spoke on some of the issues and concerns in the city. God bless you, Mr. Bias. And we definitely have to look into those items that he has addressed. But when it comes to recreation, we've had conversation, Corporation Counsel. I do agree with Councilman Abdelaziz that with the deadline that is closely approaching of August the 21st, we need to put together some level of framework. What I am recommending that we do is to look at some of the surrounding towns that banned it, and then some of the towns on some of the limitations. For example, Passaic did an ordinance on April the 27th. There were some pieces that they prohibited, and then there were some things that they permitted. So I think for that discussion, if we can do a comparative analysis on the areas that banned it and the others that allowed certain things, I think sometimes it comes to, when it's not always a flat-out no, that we come to a place of a healthy compromise. For me personally, I have my own issues with what has been done to the Black and brown community as it relates to marijuana, where a lot of our young African American and minorities, right, of different ethnicities, they were locked up and they made a lot of money off of them, right? Now it's at a point where it's legalized, so we can't say no because it's already here. RISE is here in the 3rd Ward, so we can't say no because it's here. For medicinal, it's not here for recreational, but we definitely need to sit and look at some parameters or limitations, because we definitely have a lot of spillover from other areas that started out as a great, oh, this is great for Paterson, and then we look on every area and we see what has been great has become a sour grape. So I will say that, and I will definitely talk to Council President as well as Corporation Counsel so that we can be within the guidelines, as Councilman Abdelaziz said, to make sure we meet that August 21st deadline. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you, Madam President. The vote is 6 in favor, 3 absent. The public portion of the workshop session of June 15, 2021 is hereby closed. May I entertain a motion to close the
So moved.
workshop?
Second.
Moved by Councilman Abdelaziz, second by Councilman Mendez. Roll call, Madam Clerk, to close the public portion?
No, the workshop.
I mean, the workshop?
Yes, so we have completed all the items of the workshop. Roll call to close the workshop session of June 15, 2021. Councilman Abdelaziz?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Khalid?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Madam President?
Yes.
The vote is 5 in favor, 4 absent. The workshop session of June 15, 2021 is hereby closed. We now resume to that special 8:30 meeting, Madam
Yes.
President.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Paterson Municipal Council, I welcome you to the special meeting of the Municipal Council. The meeting is now called to order. Madam Clerk, could you please read the roll call?
Yes, Madam President. Roll call for Municipal Council Special Meeting, June 15, 2021 at 8:30 p.m. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Present.
Councilman Jackson. I'm sorry. I'm doing the roll call. I have to call everyone's name, even if they're absent. I'm sorry. Councilwoman Cotton, Councilman Davila, Councilman Jackson,
Here.
Councilman Kalik,
Here.
Councilman Mendez,
Present, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Rivera, Councilman Velez. Madam President.
Here, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk,
Yes.
Clerk, will you please read the statement of compliance, 48-hour notice, and the agenda?
Yes, Madam President. Meeting covered by 48-hour notice. Notice of the time, date, location, and agenda of this meeting was transmitted to the North Jersey Herald News, The Record, The Arabic Voice, Italian Voice, Passaic County Pulse, Dominicana News, Quisqueira International, El Especial, the Paterson Press, the City Post News, and Tap into Paterson, in addition to any other publication duly requesting such notices. At or about 11 a.m. on June 7, 2021, such notices were posted on the bulletin board in the office of City Clerk at City Hall. I'll read the public notice. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, be advised that the Municipal Council of the City of Paterson has scheduled a special meeting for Tuesday, June 15, 2021 at 8:30 p.m. to be held in the Council Chambers, 155 Market Street, 3rd floor, City Hall, Paterson, New Jersey, for the purpose of discussing the following matters. Public portion. Resolutions. Item number 1, resolution authorizing a municipal council executive or closed session in or adjoining the City Council Chambers, 155 Market Street, to discuss pending litigation in the matter of Valmer Vimalji versus City of Paterson, Law Resolution 21-320. Formal action would be taken. Item number 2, resolution authorizing a municipal council executive or closed session in or adjoining the City Council Chambers, 155 Market Street, to discuss pending litigation in the matter of Tashana Kennedy versus City of Paterson, Law Resolution 21-321. Formal action would be taken. Executive session for item number 1, executive or closed session in or adjoining the City Council Chambers, 155 Market Street, to discuss pending litigation in the matter of Valmer Zelmalgi versus City of Paterson. No formal action will be taken. Executive session for item number 2, executive or closed session in or adjoining the City Council Chambers, 155 Market Street, discuss pending litigation in the matter of Tashonda Kennedy versus City of Paterson. No formal action will be taken. Resolution item number 3 for settlement. Resolution authorizing settlement of pending litigation claim in the matter of Valmeri Zimalgi versus City of Paterson, Law Resolution 21-322. Formal action would be taken. Item number 4, resolution authorizing settlement of pending litigation claim in the matter of Tashonda Kennedy versus City of Paterson, Law Resolution 21-323. Formal action will be taken. Madam President, at this time, would you like to open the public portion for the special meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we have any speakers for public portion?
No, there's no one for the public portion.
See no, move to close.
Second.
Move to close by Councilman Mendez, second by Councilman Kalik. Roll call to close the public portion.
Roll call to close the public portion for the special meeting for 8:30 p.m. Councilman Abdelaziz?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Kalik?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes.
Madam President?
Yes.
The vote is 5 in favor, 4 absent. The public portion for the special meeting is hereby closed.
We will now proceed with the special meeting agenda. Madam Clerk, please read the items 1 and 2 to commence with executive sessions.
Sure. Next item is items 1 and 2 for executive. Item 1 reads resolution authorizing a municipal council executive or closed session in or adjoining the City Council Chambers, 155 Market Street, to discuss pending litigation in the matter of Valmer Vimalgi versus City of Paterson, Law Resolution 21-320. Number 2, resolution authorizing a municipal council executive or closed session in or adjoining City Council Chambers, 155 Market Street, to discuss pending litigation in the matter of Tashonda Kennedy versus City of Paterson, Law Resolution 21-321. May I have a motion?
We have a motion to close the executive sessions for
Second.
items 1 and 2.
Move it.
Moved by Councilman Mendez, second by Councilman Kalik. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call to open the executive session for items 1 and 2. Councilman Abdelaziz?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Kalik? Councilman Mendez?
Yes.
Madam President?
Yes.
The vote is 5 in favor, 4 absent. Executive session is now open for items 1 and 2. Anyone who is not affiliated when these matter may ask to leave the chamber at this time. You may come back when we're ready. Thank you.
And to the viewing public, we will be back momentarily.
Just let me have Ms.